York, you were being gaslit about Zohran Mamdani, and I'm going to tell you why. Zohran Mamdani's entire career has been defined by his hostility toward Israel. He has marched with pro-Hamas protesters. He supports BDS.
I think that what we need to do is ask people, will you support BDS? And frankly, not ask them, but demand that you must do this.
He founded SJP on his campus. He considers himself a democratic socialist and aligns himself with the Democratic Socialists of America, who, while October 7th was still happening, condemned Israel and encouraged their followers to join the resistance. He consistently aligns himself with fringe, tokenized Jewish groups that are anti-Israel. And only after widespread outrage at his inability to say that he believes the state of Israel should exist, he's finally started saying, I believe the state of Israel should exist as a country that follows international law, which feels conditional and also feels like his campaign manager told him he needed to get the Jewish vote. Zohran Mamdani compared the word intifada to the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising.
The very word has been used by the Holocaust Museum when translating the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising into Arabic, because it's a word that means struggle.
He was condemned by the United States Holocaust Museum and refused to condemn the phrase globalize the intifada. He says it's about Palestinian resistance. You as a Jew know better, because when you think of the word intifada, you think of this and this. As a Jew, when you hear globalize the intifada, you think of the first and second intifada. These photos are from the second intifada, where over 1,000 Israelis lost their lives in terror attacks like bus bombings. Globalize the intifada is an incitement of violence toward Jews, and you know it. The largest Jewish population outside of Israel is in New York City. The mayor of New York matters. Anti-Semitism is at an all-time high. And you know that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, but Zohran Mamdani doesn't. He has consistently chanted that anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism.
Who is ready to say that anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism?
But anti-Semitic incidents spiked unbelievably after October 7th. Anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. An example of this unbelievable gaslighting of Jews is in this opinion piece published by the New York Times today. This author defends Zohran Mamdani's anti-Semitism and then goes on to say that the deadly attacks in DC and Boulder were not anti-Semitic at all, but actually politically motivated. But you as a Jew, you know better. This election matters for the safety of the Jewish community, and Zohran Mamdani may be running for mayor of New York, but Jews everywhere are watching, and we won't be gaslit into forgetting who he is.
Zohran Mamdani, 33-year-old socialist assemblyman from Queens, born in Uganda, is backed by Bernie and AOC. He's promising free buses, childcare, and city-run grocery stores like it's Soviet Russia, bro. You're not Stalin, just a TikTok hipster. He thinks shaking down billionaires fixes New York's one fines billion budget. Good luck, comrade.
Here are just some of his plans for New York City. Watch.
And our police force should not be assisting ICE.
Defund the NYPD and refund all of these different social services. And
I will create a network of city-owned grocery stores. It's like a public option for produce.
I'll freeze the rent for millions of tenants, make buses fast and free, and deliver universal childcare. And before you ask, I'll pay for it by taxing the rich.
The mayor will use their power to reject Donald Trump's fascism.
Mamdani's been slammed for anti-Semitism, and the evidence piles up. He's a BDS cheerleader, pushing sanctions on Israel on October 8, 2023, a day after Hamas killed Israelis. He condemned Israel. Ignoring the 251 hostages convenient Zohran, he defended globalize the intifada on the bulwark, calling it a desire for equality.
Mamdani doubled down on his explanation of the term globalize the intifada. It's a term many Jewish people and even the U.S. Holocaust Museum say is a rallying cry to kill Jews.
My point is not that this is language that I use. It is a larger point about these words have different meaning for many different people.
Some Jewish New York City voters have expressed concerns, anti-Semitism concerns, about Mamdani for refusing to condemn the term globalize the intifada, supporting anti-Israel protests, refusing to identify Israel as a Jewish state, and for calling for the arrest of Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu.
A few other Mamdani gems. He said that taxation isn't theft, capitalism is. He wants to freeze all rents. He has refused to condemn the Holocaust. Even the New York Times opinion section came out and basically said he was too liberal and that his agenda is damaging. And
Intifada means violence, bro. The Holocaust Museum slammed his Warsaw. Ghetto comparison Jewish Dems like Laura Gilling call his comments disturbing. He even skipped signing a 2024 Holocaust condemnation. Really, Zohran? Sounds like a Hamas sympathizer waving that Free Palestine flag. Enter the MAGA dream team, Pam Bondi, Trump's attorney. General Pick might have Mamdani in her sights. The New York Young Republicans want Trump to use the communist control act to deport this naturalized citizen. His anti-American socialist vibes of Stephen Miller and Tom Homan saying, not today. His anti-Israel activism threatens New York. They claim picture Bondi signing that order while Mamdani dreams of free bodegas. Deportation's a long shot, but in Trump's America, extremists like you are on thin ice.
To me, far more frightening and far more stark than his progressive policies and plans with no backup, his lack of experience, etc., is his blatant and rife anti-Semitism.
Yes, it's horrific, to be honest with you. And this is not just terrible for Israelis and for the Jewish community. This is terrible for Americans. Let me start with the first thing that, to me, is the most violent and the most vile, which is his whitewashing of what Intifada is about. So he keeps saying that globalized Intifada means something else for different people. That is not true. I have lived through 2 Intifadas. I know exactly what they mean. An Intifada means a violent uprising against the Jews. It means car bombing and bus bombing and ramming through people with cars. It means stabbing and shooting. That's what that means. And to globalize that means to take into America and into Western civilization what we have been through in the Middle East. That's number one. Let's take the other thing, right? He's talking about the Holy Land Five. In his rap song in 2017, he said, I'm in love with the Holy Land Five. So let's explain what the Holy Land Fives are. They are convicted criminals that have been convicted in 2008 for material support for Hamas. In 2001, the Holy Land Foundation was actually dismantled. In 2001, it was shut down. And in 2008, they were convicted. These 5 people were convicted for supporting Hamas. He is saying that he is in love with those people and asking you to look them up. So I say, absolutely look them up. That guy is so radical. He might be some sort of a Trojan horse, not just for Marxism, which is what he's actually saying, but for jihadism. He refuses to acknowledge Israel's right to exist as a Jewish state. He's very coy about this, right? So when he goes on national television, he goes, well, yes, Israel has the right to exist. But when asked on the debate stage, do you think Israel has the right to exist as a Jewish state? He refuses to answer. This is a terrible news, not just for Jews, for every single American and everybody who supports Western values. It's horrible.
New York has to decide if they want to be an American city or they want to be a socialist city. Some of his policies, he wants a rent freeze. He wants city-run grocery stores. He wants to defund the police. Now, we tried that experiment, and we saw how that worked in New York City. He said if Netanyahu comes to New York City, he's going to have him arrested.
Mayor Mamdani, would you welcome Prime Minister Netanyahu to New York City for whatever he comes for, given the US is not a signatory to the ICC, so he can travel to the US, unlike a lot of other countries. Would a Mayor Mamdani welcome Benjamin Netanyahu to the city?
No. As mayor, New York City would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu.
Now, when Tom Homan was trying to work with the NYPD to arrest the criminals, he got up all in his face. He also wants free buses, a $30 minimum wage, $70 billion for housing. None of this is going to work. It's going to bring the city into even more debt, and people are going to move to my great state of Texas and Florida. But again, the voters get to decide.
You know, I always sort of credited New Yorkers. I thought we were a little bit smarter than that. When someone promises free buses and free everything, I mean, this isn't an 8th grade president campaign. This is mayor. And somehow people are falling for this, again, under the veneer of a faux jihad. I mean, it is just frightening right now. But none of this makes sense either.
Mamdani's policies are a Bernie fever dream. Rent freezes. They tank housing by stopping new builds. The New York Times called his agenda uniquely unsuited. City-run grocery stores? Good luck getting your Kaylee. Free buses? Hochul's already vetoed his tax the rich plan. He's anti-police, seen at defund rallies and called ICE fascist after Brad Lander's arrest with crime rising. He's gutting law enforcement. His $30 minimum wage? Fox News says it bankrupts small businesses. He's an economic disaster with a man bun. Mamdani's primary win is a wake-up call. New York can't afford a socialist soft on Hamas. Thank God Trump's back, calling him a communist lunatic on Truth Social with Bondi and Tom Homan. MAGA's protecting New York. We need law and order, support for Israel and safe cities. Not a TikTok socialist chanting Intifada. That's the T on Mamdani, the socialist. Anti-Semitic nightmare fired up. Like, share, and comment. Deport him or let him crash in the election. Follow FTL for more MAGA truth bombs. Stay based, stay proud, keep America first. Peace out.